guys, welcome to another video of mine. It's Kemal AA, and this is another Chelsea transfer news daily video for you guys, where I'll keep you guys up to date with all the latest news in the past 24 hours and some big news stories, some big developments. Tomori potentially going on loan to AC Milan, reported by none other than Fabrizio Romano himself. The God source, Tier 1 source, will be reporting and delving into news regarding that and giving my thoughts and opinions on that story as well. We're discussing Hudson-Odoi's quotes and what he said in his post-match interview and how he can really put his stamp on his authority and become a first-choice regular starter in that front three. And finally, we'll also be discussing about the Wonder Kid signing on a brand new contract. His first professional contract, just turned 17 on Sunday. We'll be speaking about him and how he could essentially weave his way into the first team as well. But before I do it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and without further ado, let's get straight into today's news daily video. Now, starting off with the main story, that is Tomori. And this one has been a long time coming. And listen, we have 5 centre-backs on the cards. 5 centre-backs, you're bound to get 1 or 2 centre-backs leaving because they're lacking the game time. And especially for Tomori, it's dangerous for his development at his age to be sitting around, not getting sufficient game time and only training. He's not even getting a sniff. And for me, it confirmed it for me. Against Morecambe, he wasn't even, forget the fact that he wasn't playing, he wasn't even on the bench. So it tells you a lot. And obviously Frank Lampard confirmed in his post-match press conference, straight after the game, that Tomori may be going on loan, and it's completely understandable. Now, Fabrizio Romano has just reported that there is a new chance for Tomori. AC Milan have contacted Chelsea for the English centre-back. Tomori would accept the destination, but the main target for AC Milan is still Mohamed Simakan from Strasbourg, and only if the deal collapsed would Tomori be an option for them. So, listen, Tomori to AC Milan would be a fantastic move, in my opinion, for all parties. It would be, and I'll explain why in a minute. Tomori is a very young, promising prospect. He's a young centre-back with a lot of potential, and he had a decent first season at Chelsea. You remember, he won Player of the Year at Derby the season before under Frank Lampard's first year as management, so they have a really good bond and relationship. And he really did kick on in his first ever season at Chelsea, playing first team regular football, scored that thunder goal against Wolves, had a few really good games as well, solid, making some great recovery tackles, decent aerially as well, and quite good on the ball. He's got some good attributes, and don't forget, he's only 22 years of age, so again, a lot of potential, young. There are some of his game which you can obviously improve, but that's natural. He's not the finished article, he's bound to improve. But he's got a good ceiling. I wouldn't say he's got world-class potential. We don't know yet, but I think that, again, he's got good potential. He's got a chance to be a solid centre-back, and I think the only way for him to grow and develop is getting a sufficient game time. Now, for me, I don't know why he's getting less game time than the likes of Antonio Rudiger. I generally don't. I think that Rudiger is past his prime now. He's not good enough. Doesn't fit Frank Lampard's style to play. Tomori is better than Rudiger, especially Tomori is the future. You should be playing Tomori. I don't get why he's 5th choice centre-back, and he's just wasted these last 6 months. I feel bad for him. I think that, honestly, Tomori should have been sent out on loan in the summer window. He's not had a sniff or a look in. For me, just send him out on loan, and he stayed. He was supposed to go on loan to Rennes. He didn't want to. The West Ham deal collapsed last minute in the summertime, and he stayed at Chelsea and hasn't really had any minutes. It's been frustrating for him. It's been disappointing. And same for Rudiger. Listen, we have 5 centre-backs on the cards. Only 2 can play. And, that's going to be Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma. Christensen, you need backup, obviously. Christensen is fantastic backup, and you might have a 4th choice centre-back. But for Tomori, for his age and development, he needs to be playing games. So I think for all parties, this is fantastic. For Chelsea, because obviously it helps us get him off the wage bill at the same time when he loan him out. And it's better for his development, because then when he comes back, even if we sell him on in the future, we are going to get a lot more money. So it's going to only increase his value, which is going to benefit Chelsea in the future. And if he's good enough, great, he can be a good squad player. Good for Tomori because he gets first team regular football. It's going to improve his game and develop him even further, and he plays for a top European club such as AC Milan and top league in the Serie A, and currently they're competing to win the Serie A. They are top of the Serie A. Tomori coming in, he could potentially have a Serie A medal this time next summer. So honestly, it's good for him, and of course AC Milan get a young, promising centre-back who can help them and give them some good squad depth, some good quality heading into the final 4 or 5 months of the season, helping them potentially win the Serie A title. So again, as I stress, this is fantastic for all parties. No one loses out here. We get him off the wage bill and it improves his his value. So when he comes back as a developed player, or we sell him on for a fee. Good for Tomori to improve his development and grow as a player, and of course good for AC Milan because they get a good, young, promising centre-back who can help them achieve their title dream. So again, as I said, fantastic for all parties. But let's see, as Fabrizio has stated, Simicon is their first choice. It's not even Tomori. So we'll have to wait and see. I know Chelsea have been interested in Simicon as well. If it doesn't go through, then hopefully Tomori. Listen, I'm for this move. I hope Tomori does go to AC Milan because he needs it. I think it's only beneficial with Chelsea. You can't be having 5 centre backs. That is not healthy in the dressing room. Now moving on to the next story, I want to talk about the wonder kid Jude Soonsup-Bell. He's recently signed his first ever professional contract for Chelsea. He just turned 17 years of age on Sunday, on the 10th of January. He's a wonder kid. He's by far the best player for his age group in our academy. And we know the sort of talent that our academy produces. And he's been called up to train with the first team alongside 4 other development players. He's been called up, and only a couple of days ago he posted on Instagram saying that he signed his first ever professional contract for Chelsea and that he's very proud and the hard work will continue, of course. Very disappointed that he didn't get some sort of minutes against Morecambe. Again, I understand the context as to why Lampard went with a super strong team to boost the morale and the confidence of the squad, but it would have been nice to see likes of Jude Soonsup-Bell get some minutes, some sufficient game time. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, but again, really proud moment for him. Hopefully he can develop. I think that he is the next biggest thing coming out of the academy, and hopefully he will be able to break into the first team. Listen, I think you can criticise Frank Lampard all you want, including myself, but one thing you can't argue is that he has really created that pathway between that youth set-up team and the first team. He has. He's been given the time, he's been given the tools and resources, and he's promoted a lot of players from the academy that deserve to get the minutes. Even if they're not good enough, that's going to improve Chelsea because you can sell them on for a good fee. You can make profit off them, and that's going to help us try and sign world-class players because it all adds up at the end of the day. And if Jude Soonsup-Bell is the most talented player coming out of the academy, he slots straight into that first team and he becomes a world-class player. He's only 17 and is producing fantastic numbers for the academy team, and he's already training with the first team, so it kind of already gives you gives you an insight as to how talented this kid is. So again, really proud moment for him. Good for Chelsea as well. Good for Chelsea fans knowing that we are signing up our top talent. We're not letting them go like some of our talent that we did do in the past. I.e. De Bruyne, Salah. That wonder kid who's playing for Bayern again, Chelsea released him. So again, we need to be keeping hold of our talent and we need to be finding a way to promote them into the first team. I think Frank Lampard will obviously find a way to do that from the development squad. Now finally going into Callum Hudson-Odoi's quotes. Now Callum Hudson-Odoi had a post-match interview and he had an interview with, of course, Chelsea media, and he said that nobody is a perfect player. There are always flaws and you want to keep improving every day. I want to keep working hard and learning every day. I want to keep educating myself, whether it's at home, watching clips, or just learning under the manager. He knows what to do and he knows what is right for me and how to play. So I want to keep learning under him and working hard. Every time I get on the pitch or in training, I want to give my best every time. I want to give 110% in the match. I want to always make sure that I'm ready. The best way you train is the best way you play in the game. Now again, another fantastic cameo against Morecambe. I said in my review at the time that he did deserve man of the match. He was sublime. Getting on the score sheet, getting an assist that game as well was fantastic against Man City. Got the assist against Arsenal on Boxing Day. He's been superb, honestly. His performances have been top notch. His link-up play, he's given us that width to stretch defences. His operation in the half spaces in between lines, his link-up play, ability to cut inside, go on the wide flanks. Again, his pace, dribbling, agility. And again, he's only 19, 20 years old. He's only 19 years old. He's got incredible potential, and I've always said Callum Hudson-Odoi has got unreal potential. He has got world-class potential. No one can deny that. No one can say anything else. I think he's easily the best youngster in the Premier League. I know I may sound biased considering that the likes of Saka, Foden, Greenwood, and listen, I rate all of them, but I think Hudson-Odoi is different class, and you'll see that in the next few years. But again, for me, it's time that he cemented his first team spot. I think that he's been on better form than Pulisic. I think that he can play either wing, but I think his best position is the left-hand side. And again, for me, he needs to be cementing that first team spot. If you're going to play players on merit, Hudson-Odoi gets into that team 100%. Whether that's alongside Giroud or Werner up front, Hudson-Odoi has to play that team. It's about damn time that he gets some minutes. I know Lampard didn't really play him at the start of the season. He had injury issues last year, but now is the time where he kicks on. This is where his Chelsea career begins. This is it now, and I think this is where he can kick on, and hopefully, because he's one of my favourite ever players alongside Havertz, them two are my favourite players, so I want Hudson-Odoi to really kick on now. But I'm going to wrap up the Chelsea News Daily video for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you all guys for my next video. Peace.